Okay, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:40 p.m. It is the 2nd of October, into a new month already. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Boy, time is flying by in 2025. We'll be looking at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press today. Here in Spain, some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers as well. And we'll also go into the chat section and see what is happening there. I'm a little bit under the weather at the moment with a cold, but hopefully I'll be able to get through the live recording this evening, or the live cast, or whatever you want to call it. Straight into the news we will go, and as we can see here, Spain has broken another tourism record with 66.8 million visitors by August. Sorry, that's the wrong article because that is from last week. I'll see if I can find it here. I'll move on to number 2. The Pozuelo de Alarcón tops Spain's richest municipalities list. Again, Spain's stark income divide is highlighted once again by new tax data published by the Spanish tax agency. At the top sits Pozuelo de Alarcón, Madrid, which for the 10th consecutive year is the wealthiest municipality in Spain, with an average annual income of 88,011 euros per person. At the bottom of the ranking is Benagamosa in Malaga, where residents earn an average of just 13,831 euros, a gap of more than 74,000 euros. The ranking, based on 2023 income tax returns and limited to towns with over 1,000 inhabitants, reveals persistent territorial inequalities. High incomes are concentrated in metropolitan areas like Madrid and Barcelona, where major companies are based and salaries are highest. Meanwhile, rural municipalities in Andalusia and Extremadura record some of the lowest figures. Overall, Madrid province averages 40,801 euros per person, compared with 22,278 euros in Jaén and around 23,000 euros in Cáceres, Badajoz and Almería. The trend shows remarkable stability over the past decade. So there we go, the difference between the rich municipalities here in Spain and the poor municipalities, with Pozuelo de Alarcón, of course, out on top there. That is the richest part of Spain, or the richest municipality in Spain, as we can see there, and going down to the province of Malaga to find the poorest region in Spain, which I think is also a characteristic of most of Andalusia. Obviously a lot poorer than the richer city areas here in Spain, as we saw there, Madrid, for example, and also Barcelona. Excuse me while I just try to scramble here, putting the information together about the international visitors coming to Spain, but I'll see if I can do it on the run here. And that's what we are dealing with here as far as inequality is concerned. A lot of difference according to where you are living in Spain. And Pozuelo, if anybody has been to Pozuelo de Alarcón, they will know that it is one of the richest areas, simply because of the amount of flash cars that are driving around that part of the world. Now, I've got the main news story ready. I'll just put it into my chat here, and here we go. Spain breaks tourism record with 66.8 million visitors by August. Spain welcomed 66.8 million international tourists between January and August 2025, the highest figure ever recorded, according to data published by the National Statistics Institute, the INE. The figure represents a 3.9% increase compared with the same period in 2024. Tourist spending also hit record levels, reaching 92.46 billion euros, up 7.1% year on year. In August alone, 11.3 million foreign visitors arrived, a 2.9% rise compared with August 2024, generating 16.39 billion euros in spending, 6.7% more than the previous year. The UK remains Spain's largest source market, with 13.2 million visitors in the first 8 months, That's up 4.3%, followed by France 9.2 million and Germany 8.2 million. In August, the UK contributed 2.2 million arrivals, France 2 million and Germany 1.3 million. The UK also led in total spending, accounting for 17.9% of the overall figure, followed by Germany 11.6%. France 9.1%. German spending rose most strongly, up 10% year on year. So Spain continues to break records as far as tourism is concerned. We saw the figures there, record numbers again, and of course the British population, the number one international visitor to this country still. Don't know how many years in a row that has been going on for. France coming in second. I think Germany was third there. But yes, the British people and their love affair with sunny Spain continues despite the negativity in the British press that we get year after year after year, trying to persuade the weak-minded to maybe not go to Spain. I think that would be the best summation of the news that we see in those press outlets. We all know the ones. They repeat the same stories over and over again and basically look for any negativity to throw at their readers to put them off basically traveling to anywhere in Europe, I would say. And the final piece of news here, sewage and tourism. Tenerife's polluted paradise. In northern Tenerife, residents of Punta Brava live with untreated sewage flowing into the sea just meters from their homes. Local bodyboarder Cesar Borges recalls how Playa Jardín, once the social heart of the neighborhood, was closed in July 2024 due to fecal contamination. Although it reopened in June 2025 after repairs, locals insist the fixes are temporary and the problem persists. What do I leave to my daughters, my grandchildren? Filth? Borges laments. Wastewater outfalls are intended to discharge treated sewage offshore, but when plants fail or are absent, untreated waste reaches the sea. This is not unique to Tenerife. Valencia, the Balearics, and the Mediterranean destinations such as Naples face similar crises linked to mass tourism. Official figures show the Canary Islands have 400 discharge points, 216 without permits, while Tenerife hosted 45% of them, including dozens in protected areas. Campaigners warn visible pollution is damaging both public health and the island's tourist image. And let's be honest about this. Why would you want to go to a place and spend time at a beach that has a sewage issue like the one there on the island of Tenerife? You would definitely consider going somewhere else the next time around because you don't want to be swimming with that type of matter floating around you. Let's be honest about that. So the need there for the local town halls and councils in places like that we saw there, Valencia, Tenerife, other parts of the Canary Islands, to get their act together and deal with their waste, the human waste issue, which is an issue. Now let's go into the comment section, check out what has been bubbling away there in recent times. Let's see if I've got this one correct. Yes, Johnny, the backdrop photo today is amazing. Or the other day, Johnny, the backdrop photo was amazing. Yes, it was. It was from the Altea region, I think, if I remember correctly, and it was the lighthouse, which was caught absolutely spectacularly by the photographer in question, whose name escapes me currently, but we saw the photo the other day, and it was an attractive photo. Indeed it was. I'll see if I can find the photo. Alex was the name of the person who sent the photo through. Thanks, Alex, for that. And yes, today's photo, when I reveal it, is also an interesting one. I don't think it's as spectacular, depending on what type of photos you like. But, of course, the one that we saw the other day was simply a spectacular photo. So thanks for that. Thanks, Johnny, for the comment. Another one here from Brady. The acronym was actually PIIGS, Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. Thanks, Brady, for pointing this out. I might have got that one wrong the other day. I left Ireland out of the equation when I mentioned those pigs countries, as they were so fondly named by certain press outlets. I think the UK financial press came up with that name, the Financial Times, I think, maybe the Economist as well. And it wasn't a very flattening acronym to use, PIGS, the pigs. And the shoe is on the other foot nowadays, because the Spanish economy is being hailed as one of the best in Europe, if not the best, by both the Financial Times and the Economist. And the Irish economy also has got itself out of the hole that it was in back when that acronym was formed back in the late 2000s, and I think around 2008, 2009, 2010, when of course the world economy went belly up, and acronyms like that one were deliberately put out there to upset the locals whose countries were involved. I think that would be a fair way of saying that. Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. Spain now on top. Ireland is strong. Don't know about the rest, but I don't think they're doing too badly. I could be wrong about Greece. Don't know. One here from Jay. It rained most of the day here in Peñíscola, but yesterday, but there was nothing unusual. Thanks, Jay, for the update. And that part of Spain that had the severe weather warning, of course, the red warnings were out for that part of the country. Some parts of the Mediterranean coastline were severely hit, huge amounts of water falling in a very short time, leading to flash flooding. Fortunately, there was only material damage. No human lives were lost, I believe. And Jay saying there in his part of Spain, Peñíscola, in the Castellón province, no problems. It rained, but it wasn't as heavy as they thought it was going to be. So thanks, Jay, for letting us know that all is well in that part of the world. One here from Mark. Hi, Stuart. Excellent information. We have just come back from a weekend Torre Quebrada. Lovely time. Benalmádena, Old Town, was less touristy than Mijas Pueblo and worth the visit. Prices in the estate agents are eye-watering in these areas. Bus travel using a top-up card is excellent. Everywhere in Europe seems to be leveling out or up, and there doesn't seem to be very cheap options nowadays. Thanks, Mark. Obviously related to the cost of living video that I put out yesterday. Some of the main cost of living features here in Spain. The prices are most likely leveling out. I think that was one of the objectives of the European Union back in the day, to have the economies on equal terms, if that is possible, of course. Huge amounts of money were thrown into the southern European countries, as we know, to build infrastructure, to reinforce their economies. And you could argue if it was a success in some countries. In Spain, maybe it is the case that it has been successful, or at least the current economic data would tell us that. But we'll see in a moment. Some people aren't so positive when it comes to Spain's economy. But I think in general, Southern Europe is becoming pricier. We've seen it over the last couple of years. The tourism industry has increased prices, hotels. And is there anywhere cheap anymore? That's the question. Good question. Is there anywhere cheap anymore? Thanks, Mark. Pork Sandwich sent a comment through saying, thank you for your content. Is it common to get good deals on private healthcare through a bank if you deposit money in a bank account? Do you find that you can get medical appointments faster through private healthcare in Spain? Thanks, Pork Sandwich, for the comment there. The bank that I use is called Caixa Bank, and they also own an insurance company called Deslas, and that's who I have my health insurance through. I think anybody can sign up for a Deslas. You don't necessarily have to have a bank account with them or a deposit. You just go to the separate insurance section and sign up there. You might be able to get a bit of a discount if you are a customer with the bank. That's how banks operate here, and no doubt in other countries as well. The more products that they can sell to you, the better the deals seem to be. Whether you have a car through the bank, or you might have a mortgage or a long-term deposit or a pension fund, and then you can get cheaper deals on some of the other products, like, for example, health insurance, which I think I'm currently paying around 55, 56 euros a month. It's recently gone up 3 euros. But still reasonable, I think, for that. The second question there, do you find that you can get medical appointments faster through private healthcare in Spain? Yeah, you can. Although it is getting slower because more and more people are jumping onto private health and saturating that system, because the public system, of course, if you want to see a specialist, you can be waiting for a long time. If you've got something, if the doctors consider that you have something serious, you'll get fast-tracked through the health system, the public health system. But if you go in there with a sore elbow because you've been playing tennis too much, you could be waiting for a long time. So private health insurance for that type of thing comes in handy, and yeah, it will be quicker than going through the traditional system, the public system, not really the traditional system, but the public system, because the doctors don't consider your tennis elbow a serious issue. I think that's the way it works. So, yeah, to answer the question, yeah, it's quicker, but not as quick as it used to be. And the final one here from Sub-Architect DJ, Europe must be in a bad place if Spain is the best EU economy. Jeez. Sub-Architect not having the anything of the data or the information published in the Financial Times the other day talking about the Spanish economy, but it all comes down to the data which is being published, I think, Sub-Architect. Again, you could argue that the economy is currently inflated by these European funds. I don't know. Companies taking advantage of cheap labour that is coming into the country as well. You could argue that. And as we saw the other day, when the European funds stop coming into the country, which I think is 2027, if I'm not mistaken, it might be a different story. But we hope that the Spanish government has put the measures in place to keep the economy strong beyond the European funds. That is what we hope. Those people that have been living in Spain for a long time have heard the stories before. Back in the mid-2000s, we were told here that Spain was in a Champions League when it comes to the economy, and then they got relegated down to the 4th or 5th division for 5 or 6 years. So we've seen the lies from politicians before, but we live in hope because everybody is riding on the back of the Spanish economy performing well. Nobody except maybe some foreign viewers want to see the Spanish economy collapse again. But people living here certainly don't want that to happen, so we put faith in the people that lead us. Thanks for the comment, Sub. Live chat time. We're going to have a look at what's bubbling away in the live chat. Not expecting a lot of activity there today, considering the amount of viewers. But hopefully there'll be something. The backdrop has been changed. We can see it there. This photo was sent in by Peter. And it's the Gandia Town Hall, apparently. Haven't been to that part of the world, but I imagine this place earlier in the week was knee-deep with rain. But the day that Peter took the photo, quite a nice snap, and some people there enjoying a coffee, or maybe a beer, or maybe a glass of wine, depending on what time of the day it is. A little bit chilly, considering the attire those people are wearing. So thanks, Peter, for sending the photo through. Anyone that has a similar picture they would like to see on the backdrop, the email address is on the screen now. Feel free. spainspeaks@gmail.com. And if you sent a photo through that I haven't put on the back screen yet, I'll just put that on the full screen. Doesn't seem to be on the full screen there. There we go. If anybody has a backdrop picture that they would like to see on the channel, feel free to send them through to that email address. And if you have already sent one through and it hasn't made it yet, just send me another email reminding me, and I'll see if I can find it and put it back up. Also, for people that haven't liked the video today yet, 45 people have. Some people haven't. So if you can do me a favor and hit the like icon, please. And we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally today if you hit that like icon that you'll find below the video. So do us a favor. I'll just de-blur the photo a bit there so we can see some more of the action. So yeah, Spain Speaks, if you want to send me some information, gmail.com. And hit the like icon. Do us a favor. Now, also for people that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's buying me a coffee, whether it's the Super Thanks option on YouTube, longer-term supporters on Patreon, thank you very much for that support. And also the channel members on this YouTube channel, thank you very much for that ongoing support. It is greatly appreciated, and let's be honest, it has helped keep the channel alive over the years. No doubt the support from you guys. Thank you very much for that. Appreciated, as I said. Now, let's go into the chat section, see what's bubbling away. Let's scroll up to the top. Lots of familiar names and not much activity going on. So I reckon this is going to be a quick one this evening. Andrew's coming in from a cold London southeast. Good to see you, Andrew. Valued member also is Andrew. Barbara's coming in from Catral, still in Catral. Recovering, of course, is Barbara from an ailment. 30 degrees tomorrow, 26. Yeah, the temperatures have popped up again, Barbara. The Madrid temperatures, I think, at the weekend are also going to be around that 30-degree mark. So I reckon that the majority of the country is going to get some good weather. Andrew's coming in from the northwest of the country, mid-20s and dry there. I think this is the first time I remember a water shortage alerts in Galicia. Yes, drought obviously is looming. Water shortage alerts. There we go. And normally a very wet part of the country. High Flyer John, evening everyone. Hope your week is going well. Cruz Campo to the rescue, along with the live after a long day. All the best. Thanks, John, for tuning in. Marianne, remember to like. We're up to 52 likes currently, Marianne. So yours is one of those. Thank you for joining us. Sani's in the chat here as well. Good evening, everyone. It's good to see the weather in Valencia has calmed down. Thanks, Sani, for that. It is. Not out of the woods yet. I'm sure that the next month or two will also bring a few storms to that part of the country, which is usual at this time of the year, the storms, of course, but it's the intensity, as we know in recent years, of those storms that catches people off guard. So hopefully they won't be as intense, but the weather experts are saying that it will be a wet year, given the very hot or warm Mediterranean Sea. James and Kathy coming in from a mild but overcast Worcester. Bracing ourselves for Storm Amy. So a storm on the way to the UK. Janet coming in from Oxford. Hugely saddened by the Manchester synagogue attack. Yes, Janet, that is making press here today. It's a shame that people don't have the ability to go into their place of worship and celebrate without somebody considering that maybe it's a good idea to attack those people. That is where the sadness comes from. I don't care whether there's a religious reason behind it or not. I don't think anybody should be persecuted or attacked for believing in something. That's just my opinion. And again, these attacks really take us back as a society, I think. It's sad. Ala's in the chat, coming in from San Diego today. Always have to check with Al because you never know where he's going to be. Cardiff, Philadelphia, San Diego, Madrid. Good to see you, Al. Leaving early, so we won't see much of Al. Get well. Thanks, Barbara. It's only a mild cold at this stage. Hopefully it stays that way, but you never know. You never know. Trying to get some rest whenever I can. Drinking plenty of water. You know the story. Martin, haven't seen Martin for a while. Hola Stu, ¿qué tal? Not long back from a month in Poland. Off to a pub in a bit. Mejor deseos from Mart and Sylv. Good on you guys. Good to see you in the chat this evening. Long time, as I said. Kenneth saying hello. Good to see you, Ken. San Diego has the same sewage on the beach problem from Tijuana. Yeah, Al, that's what happens when you share a border with a place that might not have the infrastructure that you have where you are. I think it's probably a fairly common issue when you cross that US-Mexican border. Tijuana. El Conquistador will be back in Spain soon. Don't get me with those damn squirt guns. He's got family in Spain, not a run-of-the-mill tourist. Thanks, El Conquistador. You should be all right. The protests die down in the autumn months, the winter months. They'll probably pop back up in the spring. But we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. What else? Chris is asking the question, are we going to have the same incidences in Spain now they have recognised the Palestinian state? UK, it's said, have got to give Hamas £2 trillion. So will Spain do the same? No idea, Chrissy. I'm not up to date on the situation there. Big protest in Madrid today. Hope you start feeling. Thanks, John, for that. I hope I do too. Bronny's in the chat here, coming in from Wales, of course. Wet and windy weather forecast for tomorrow. Thanks for the live stream, but currently mild 17, so that's good. Pablo de la Cruz coming in from the USA, Florida. Appreciate your insight on Spain. Love the videos. Thanks, Pablo. Good to see you here this evening. I don't think I've seen you before. And Andre coming in from South Africa, which is the last comment that I can see here. I knew it was going to be a short one today. Obviously, people taking pity with my poor health at the moment and not wanting to bother me. So thank you very much for that. Back again on Sunday. Until then, goodbye. Adios.